Hey YouTube, what's up? So this is my everyday carry video for May of 2018. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, and I'm a bit surprised you guys haven't said anything. But here we go. The first thing is going to be my light. Now I have two lights brought out here because it depends on what time of the day, and if I have the option to switch them out. So if it's just me walking around in public and I left the house early in the morning, then I just have this on, this Streamlight Micro Stream. Now this is the previous generation, so I think this is only pumping out like 35 lumens. The new one is 45 lumens, but honestly I have friends that actually own the 45 lumen version, and you almost can't even see the difference. So no big deal. If you don't have the newest, that's fine. So this is very good. Now, in contrast, I have to tell you, if I do have the option and it's getting a little dark, or maybe a few hours from sunset, I switch these out and I go to my Tactical A1S. Now, of course, they call this now a WildTac is the new brand, the WildTac A1S. And I have to say, man, this is a very good bargain, and it works really well. You know, it has a rechargeable 18650 battery and so forth. And, you know, I think this is a really just one of the best values going, just flat out. So I put this on, especially at night. If I have the option, I'll definitely switch this out for night. And I use this also if I forget to get the mail during the day. At night, if I need to go get the mail, since my driveway is so long, and because I live in a more rural area, there's a lot of wild animals, some of which are somewhat dangerous. I have to have a really good light. And there's been like 3 times now in the past year that dogs have come up to me, being very aggressive. And I put this on the turbo mode and just keep it right on their face as I get away. And it saved my bacon a few times, no joke. So the dogs don't know what to do with this much light in their face, and they just kind of stop in their tracks. They're just blinded, I guess. So that's awesome. And I'm not saying, blind dogs. I'm just saying when they're aggressive to you, that's probably I guess you could say the most humane way to keep them at bay. What other options do you have? You could kick them in the face. You could probably pepper spray them, or you could shoot them, And typically I have most of those options available, but I don't want to do any of those really if I can avoid that. I like animals, believe it or not. The next is your multi-tool. And you're probably wondering, wow, it's a little multi-tool. That's the Victorinox Sportsman 2. I love the Camper 2. I talk about it all the time. And I love my Leatherman rebar, and I have a whole list actually of multi-tools that I do switch out. All these items, can kind of switch out depending on the day, but today this is what I have. So the Sportsman 2 is just a 2-layer knife. So you got 2 layers, and it has all the stuff I need. So perfect. The next is my main pocket knife. And I have to say, this is just something that keeps coming back as number 1. That's the Delica 4 with the Emerson Wave. And this is kind of like that, I'm not sure what kind of blue this is, but it's kind of like a darker blue. I wouldn't say that this is maybe a navy blue. It's a little bit more lighter than a navy blue, but maybe on camera it looks more navy blue, but it's definitely a blue. It's a darker blue. It's just really nice. It's got some pocket wear on it. It's great. I've had this for a long time, guys. Honestly, a long time. Got a really good deal on it. Actually, I bought it used. Like for $40, and it was almost in mint condition when I got it. It was crazy. I thought the guy was on drugs for selling it to me, but I bought it on eBay of all places, and so it really worked out perfect. It's just awesome. These things are not cheap either. Even back in the day, they weren't cheap. And man, I look back and I'm like, man, that was a steal. Now, in terms of defensive blades, sometimes I really do carry it, but today I'm not leaving the house, so I don't have a defensive blade on me, but I do typically have it. But just because this is today's EDC, I'm not going to show anything else. The next is the CRKT Minimalist. Now, I have a whole bunch of different versions of this. This is the drop point, which is kind of like all blacked out. It has this, I guess they call this a black wash finish. I'm pretty sure maybe that's what it's called. And I just have it in the sheath. And there's no parachute cord for neck carry. I didn't, put the belt clip on. I'm just using it just kind of simply bare bones. And so I can just drop this in my pocket. And that's kind of how I have it set up. So when I go to pull it out, I can just grab it like this and push off and pop it out in my pocket. But the second most common way I carry this is around my neck. And then lastly, I put it on my belt. So there you go. Next is my wallet. I'm still sporting this Maxpedition Micro. And I have this really kind of like a small Ranger band that I made. I took some inner tube and cut it. And so it's been holding up just fine. But that's the only flaw I think about this wallet is that it'll kind of want to open up and flop around. Not so much in the pocket, but when you set it down and stuff on tables. And I don't want that. I want it to be all kind of just put together. For obvious privacy reasons, I'm not going to open my wallet up. But I will tell you that I have a lot of goodies in there. I mean, lots of stuff. I mean, there's surprisingly stuff in there that all fit. And so I have like a lockpick set, a pen. You can probably see the pen right here sticking out. I have safety pins in there, paper, there's just a bunch of stuff. I'm probably leaving half of the stuff out. So that's really cool. I think I have a floating razor blade knife, all kinds of stuff in there. So that's awesome. Once again, the only thing I would change is maybe a way to close this that doesn't require a Ranger band, but it's not a problem. I like the size and the material is just tough as nails. So Maxpedition does a good job. And lastly here, I have my firearm. This also changes out quite often depending on what's going on. Just because it's getting warmer, I'm going with a lighter and smaller option. So I'm trying to transition from more of a full size to just a smaller gun. So this is the Ruger LCP, and this is the original one. And so definitely has a lot of wear on it for sure. There's a lot of wear. This one is in condition 1, so I don't really want to pull it out and stuff, but it's just ready to go. And I've done little things like take some Ranger bands and just different things to kind of make it a little more comfortable and usable for me. And so I do have a smartphone, which I'm actually using to record this. So sorry, I can't show you that. I don't really wear watches typically. My pen and paper is in here, so I don't have a separate pen and notepad. And then I guess the last thing you probably want to know about is a non-lethal option. When I do go out to larger cities, I do include typically a nice medium-sized pepper gel. So that's there. And then I guess lastly is my keys. Since I'm at home today, I didn't include it because I'm not, I don't have it in my pocket. But my keys are kind of bulky, and I typically have several key rings. I have one key ring that just has my car keys on it, and then a separate key ring for my house. So the one with the house has a couple other things, a little pocket knife, and just a couple other trinkets on there. And it's a little bit bulky, but it's not unbearable. But for the most part, this is what I carry, or what I'm carrying today. And hey, thanks for checking out the video. I'll catch you later.